Honoring Chief and Council, I apologize for not being able to be there in person tonight. I hope Juliana Lesage is able to make it to represent our youth collective. I just wanted to make this video to clarify some miscommunications that had been misconstrued, or just different information that had come up the last time I was at the table. As I understand, this was brought to you guys as a new project. I hope this presentation will give you some more clarification. The first thing I wanted to start with was the books and the finances. As I understand, that was a big thing. Ontario Trillium Foundation has no intent, want, or desire to go through Batchewana First Nations books in any regard. Zero. Zilch. I have an email from the Director of Finance and our Program Manager, Kyle, stating that they will not be going through any finances. The only finance they care about is this money being allocated, which is the $300,000. They only care about $255,000 out of that $300,000, because $45,000, 20%, is allocated to Batchewana First Nation as an organizational mentor fee. So the first time I came to the table, I made some suggestions on a template of what that money could be used for, potentially like a bonus for the youth coordinator staff, the youth teen center, maybe some renovations there, and a youth hide camp. So you will see that on a slide. You can read it. We can email Kyle. We can even bring him on Zoom to the Chief and Council table so you guys can hear it from their mouth verbatim that they want nothing to do with our books in any regard. I was just really excited to know that we've already had a youth account set up. Between myself and Tom, we've worked with finance because we've been receiving multiple grants. We've received, I think, 2 or 3 now, that the money has went directly to that account. So it's easy to run reporting, billing, and all those kinds of things to make it easier on finance and easier on. The next piece I want to talk about is the interconnectedness for community. I've run hide camps and birch bark making workshops for youth in the community, and they're all interconnected with this Manoomin bed. Our traditional way of processing Manoomin actually involves hide and birch bark. I can get into that in another video and really explain to you guys the outlook of Manoomin and what this is going to look like over the course of time. But mind you, all of these workshops really coincide with one another, and they're all for the benefit of food sovereignty. It all aligns with that, truly. That was the way that I was privileged enough to be brought up, hunting and fishing, trapping, and doing all those things outside on the land. So I'm really excited to be able to have this opportunity, and the other youth that I work with to be able to give back to our community in this way. And working with youth, also being able to have foster kids from our communities, I've seen the difference it is to have a kid knowing who to be in Anishinaabe and to know what it is to be sovereign on the land. I've seen the difference it makes in their lives, and their spirit. And that's really what I want to be able to do, and to be able to give back through this programming that we're going to do with the Ontario Trillium Foundation. Great language, teachings, and lots of different things through our educational programs, our health programs. Both the Batchewana Health Center and the Batchewana Learning Center are so much and so very well on board with incorporating Manoomin in any regard that we can. And at the same capacity, Garden River is also willing and able to do the same thing. Manoomin teachings, there's a lot of them to go around, whether it be safety, getting in and out of the water, teachings of the water, how to respect water, how to respect plants, how to pray. There's so many different things that can go into this Manoomin bed, and I'm super excited to be able to have the opportunity for our youth and our communities to have access to that at a grassroots level within our own communities. The next thing I wanted to talk about that was a big concern for the Chief and Council table, as well as me, to answer those questions, was around liability. I would like to point out that between other activities that are culturally orientated to our Anishinaabe Odsawin, like hunting and fishing, we're eliminating guns and hooks with Manoomin. We don't really have to worry about those types of safety issues. I'm not saying that there's not any, but we can get any certifications that we need. And I've also been in contact with a lot of different partners that are willing to support the youth in our community to get training. One of them being Transport Canada, to be able to train us with boating safety and give us all the equipment. And that is free of cost. I met them at one of the meetings that I was attending with OFMYPC, was able to connect with them. They gave me their contact information. It's kind of just been on hold until the funding is allocated. It is free 99. They don't cost anything to come and train us. Liabilities already in a little box for the Jaganash sense of checking boxes to make sure that it's all good. And then another concern was about liability to the environment and our land, which I just kind of felt there was some irony in that, because this is an Anishinaabe plant. This is a native plant to this area, being planted by Anishinaabe youth, Anishinaabe sovereign First Nations youth from our community. And it's actually going to do the opposite from harm the environment. It's actually going to help clean it up and restore it to what it once was. Red flagged or flagged as an issue. I would just remind us that there's a liability not to act. Our youth need these programs. They really need access to this. When I was able to care for children from our foster care system, from our reserves, we were the first ability for them to actually see outside. I don't mean like to be able to step outside, but to really see our land, our culture, to be able to see what it means to be sovereign, and to know what it means to be Anishinaabe, to be honest. Very close to being lost with them. Like, they were at the times where they should be doing their vision quests or their berry fasts, and that's, I think, a lot of the times where our youth are getting a little lost on that road is like, there's a time to act, and it's now. I really hope that you enjoy the rest of this video. I've lobbied with my fellow OFNYPC members. I've lobbied with some other members of the community that have had similar opportunities from OTF, and I just really hope we're successful tonight at the table, and I would really look forward for your support.
Oni, ojo, kun moski indigo, mako andodem, kunabding donjaba. Just wanted to make this video in support of Hannah and Jack, the Batchewana First Nation Youth Collective. I was a founding member of the Nimk Youth Collective as well as the Waterways Collective. We do lands-based programming, and a lot of that we've been able to do has been as a result of, granting that we've been able to bring to support our work. Here's an example, the hide tanning that we've been able to do. We're in the hide shack here. And the stuff that we've been able to learn has actually been as a result of some funding similar to the Youth Opportunities Fund that the collective that Hannah works with, Hannah and Jack, they've been able to secure some funds. It's super awesome. So, I encourage you, any type of partnerships and collaborations in support of these young people as they're trying to, bring about this good work in the community around Manoomin. Super important, and I think it's pretty awesome when we have our young people go to school, they come back to our community, and they want to create opportunities and bring in different resources to do so. I think it's really great work. So and just imagine all the amazing work that Hannah and Jack and the Youth Collective will be able to do and continue to do for the community, for Anishinaabe youth. So I am excited to see what the work that they'll be doing, and happy to support, in any way that I can. But it's really empowering to see young people, take up these spaces and these roles as leaders, and seeing that the work needs to be done and taking the initiative to do it.
Staying on. Wache, I'm Ramon Katakwapit, and I'm on the Youth Council for Anishinaabe Aski Nation and OFYPC of Chiefs of Ontario. This initiative started, you shouldn't get in the way of your youth, and you should be pushing them and supporting them, and not creating barriers, blockades, or walls. Because if you want to see change can start now. You can't always say that youth are the future while you don't support them now. Whether if you think that they can do it or not, the youth can do it. And us as a council, and youth as myself, I can say that we serve as living examples that your youth can make a change. So support them. We got you.
Aminga Kinaway, Manad by Condition Cause, Mine Gonna Do Them, Get Him and Missing, Mean Wanna Be Sing, Donjaba, Severant, and Damigua. I have been working closely with Batchewana First Nation for a little over a year now, specifically with their youth. I am a hide tanner teacher, and I have firsthand seen the difference that access to the land has made within the communities of both Garden River and Batchewana First Nation. I can only imagine the good that would come from the connection with the rice beds, along with community, and really fostering a healthier environment for our young people. I really hope you consider giving them that chance and taking a chance on them. You good?
Bonjour, was Albanese and Dishnakaz, Fatikin Dudem, Wapsmangan Dunji. Hello, my name is Carter Carpenter. I'm from Wapsmung Independent Nations, and I represent the IFN at the Chiefs of Ontario. And I am throwing my full support behind one of your youth, Hannah Swell, for the initiative that she's taken upon herself to support her youth and future generations for your nations with a rice bed initiative for your communities. I find when youth lead something, it tends to be really special. And when youth lead something, it's very rare. Just from personal experience, it's very rare when youth take on that initiative like she has. And she's so wonderful and she's amazing, and I really hope you will consider to work with her, to support her, because as leadership, it's your job to uplift your youth, uplift your next generation. So I offer my full support from Treaty 3 territory and the Independent First Nations with this initiative. Chimigwech for listening.
Ani Kinoya, Nigans and Nimki Benes Dijnakas, Dikdo Dem, Chiging Donjaba. My name is Pierre Bosky. I come from Chiging First Nation. I sit on OFNYPC as the Anishinaabeg Nation Youth Rep. I think it's really important that this funding is granted to the youth of your communities. This is very important. All of us youth who have these opportunities to sit on these councils and advocate for youth at a very high level, provincial, federal, even within our PTOs. This is very important, and we really need the backing of our communities. And I offer my support to Hannah. It's kind of saddening to hear this, that the community doesn't want to do this. It's really sad because a lot of our communities, a lot of our people always say that, they support the youth, they want to encourage them. This isn't encouraging us. This hurts, and it hurts me. It does. And I really hope that this funding goes to your Manoomin beds. Manoomin is very sacred medicine, a very sacred food for our people as well. And it would be amazing to see this, grow and sprout within your communities. I would really love to visit when you get these rice beds, these wild rice beds, and I want to show my youth in my community as well, and across my PTO, like, this is possible. There are youth out there that are making these strides and these headways to ensure that we have really great sources of, our sacred foods. Food sovereignty is really important as well. Our people used to be really, really proud of what we grew, and we don't see that very much anymore. And seeing that there's a youth from your community really, really wanting to do this, we should support this youth. Should really, really be proud, really accept the Jonia and get these rice beds made, because it'd be a very good for your community, because a lot of other communities would look at it and be like, wow, this is what these youth are doing. How can we follow in their footsteps? How can we inspire our youth to do this? Sometimes communities have to take a risk and be them trailblazers and support the youth to 100%. I've been sitting on these youth councils for a long time, and I've had my personal battles with communities not wanting to do things like this. But then the communities that do major strides when it comes to things like this, there's so many benefits. It creates unity amongst our youth, especially the 2 First Nations that are involved in this project. It grows stronger. It grows our community stronger. It grows our people stronger. It unites our people. And we always hear that saying growing up is, divided we get conquered, but united we can never fall. So I really support this. I really hope you as a community as well support this youth and the amazing strides that they're doing for your communities, and take pride in our youth. Chimiwech.
I hope that we can eliminate those barriers and just see ourselves as sovereign Anishinaabe Ojibwe people, because that's what we are. The youth don't look at Garden River and look at BFN and say, oh, that's a different Brown. This is Garden River Brown, that's BFN Brown. We are just youth that want to come together for both of our communities to flourish. We want to flourish as youth so that we can have the next generations be able to look up to us and have more than we've had before. So again, miigwech, and I really hope that this video is encouraging to show the passion and like the effort that youth are willing to put in to be able to do these things.